sinking cities that might disappear soon. In today's video, we will show you how the world will inevitably go through its cycles. With the continuous effects of climate change, here are the sinking cities that might disappear soon. Just a reminder, let's try to make Mother Earth a happy place. And please be less destructive to the planet's ecosystem instead of rebelling against it. Enjoy watching this video and don't forget to like and subscribe. These will get a little terrifying, from widespread poverty to more regular catastrophic storms to obviously rising temperatures. To name just a few, but before they get scary, let's check out the sinking cities that might disappear soon. Number 1. Jakarta, Indonesia. The country is already sinking up to 6.7 inches per year due to excessive groundwater pumping, which is bad because it can cause a change in pressure and volume that causes the land to sink. And with the rising oceans, this city is right next to the Java Sea. It's reported that most of it could be underwater by the year 2050, which is in most of our lifetime. To better safeguard its citizens, the Indonesian government has approved a plan to relegate the city of Jakarta, home to 10 million people, to a location 100 miles away on the island of Java. This change, however, can take up to 10 years and cost roughly $33 billion. So by the year 2031, I hope they have already begun and we got to get going right. Number 2. Dhaka, Bangladesh. Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, comes in at number 2. While researching this topic, I learned that Bangladesh is accountable for 0.3% of greenhouse gas emissions. Its capital city of Dhaka is home to 8.9 million people, and many of them could be displaced by rising oceans as soon as 2050. The city of Dhaka and the country of Bangladesh have already fought with dangerous floods many times, with residents relocating multiple times and trying everything. But they cannot keep doing this because this flood and continuous water logging will affect 18 million people in total, according to the New York Times. The logging industry makes it very difficult to cultivate land projections, and the country's conclusion is that the sea levels are expected to rise by 1 meter. Also, it may not happen all the way over time, but that's not the point. Forecast as of this moment is if things keep going downhill, it will be just how likely that the prediction will to come true sooner than expected. Number 3. Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, which is located in Nigeria, comes in at number 3. Africa's largest city is Lagos, which has a population of 21,320,000 as of right now. Its low coastline is continuing to erode and will only erode faster with the rising sea levels in the ocean. A study that was completed back in 2012 at the University of Plymouth concluded that the sea level increase of 3 to 9 feet could have catastrophic effects on the largest city. Suppose that wasn't clear. In the middle of the range of 3 to 9 feet, it would take years to be exactly like what's happening in Indonesia. The country needs billions of dollars to stop this to happen and to keep the number of people safe. But the government can't keep moving people around. This issue needs to be faced head-on. Number 4. Bangkok, Thailand. Fourth on the list is Bangkok, Thailand. As one of the top tourist destinations, this one may really sting. Bangkok is reportedly sinking at a rate of more than 1 centimeter each year. This may not seem like much, but by 2030, the city could be completely submerged. If reports in The Guardian are to be believed, a Bangkok architecture firm has just completed an 11-acre park that can store up to 1 million gallons of rainwater to combat the current and the future flooding that the city is experiencing. Again, this is just a band-aid. And the real battle against climate change needs to begin with addressing that. Number 5. Rotterdam, the Netherlands. Coming in at number 5 is Rotterdam, Netherlands. If you haven't seen pictures of this amazing city, Look them up. It offers breathtaking city skylines, beautiful night views, and just amazing sights to see all around. But according to the New York Times, we might not get to see them for much longer. 90% of Rotterdam is already below sea level. But just like Bangkok, this city has built these massive water storage parks to help with flooding. The initiative to stop flooding is called Room for the River, and it's fairly simple. However, instead of making room for the river, how about we fix the flooding and remain the last gorging of the river? Just like humans, no water bodies like to be overfilled. We are all connected in some way, and when we choose to support each other, no matter how big or small, it can truly make difference. Number 6. Venice, Italy. Another very sunny location is Venice in Italy, which comes in halfway on our list. This is the problem in Venice right now, since the city is sinking at a pace of 0.8 inches per year. In 2003, Italy began construction on flood barrier consisting of 78 gates across 3 inlets, originally scheduled for completion in 2011. The barrier is now not expected to be completed until 2022. Even temporary fixes like this takes time. So if we're going to take the time to build something, we might as well build something that will last. The city was hit by a series of devastating storms in 2018, and the $6.5 billion project I was telling you about was obviously not finished yet. As a result, the city experienced the worst flooding it had seen in over a decade. I know gondolas are a common mode of transportation there, but let's not make them the only option. Number 7. New Orleans, USA. New Orleans in the United States comes in at number 7 on our list. I am sure many of you have heard or have remembered Hurricane Katrina. I remember when it happened, and it was one of the most devastating natural disasters in history. New Orleans never really saw the end to any of those terrible effects of Katrina. And to top it all off, it is still seeing some really harsh effects of climate change too. New Orleans is currently sinking at the rate of 2 inches per year and could be fully submerged underwater by the year 2100. According to a 2016 NASA study, not only is this one worrisome, but it is almost closer to home here in North America too. One of the major worries is that parts of New Orleans are already 15 feet below the sea level. Due to its location in the Delta River, this increases its risk of sea levels rising even more. However, unfortunately, it doesn't end here, as the next 3 are all in North America. Number 8. We have Houston, Texas, which is sinking at the rate of 2 inches per year due to excessive groundwater pumping. These could lead to a rise in sea levels of meters within our lifetimes. Houston is home to 2.3 million people, and the more it sinks, the more susceptible it will be to frequent natural disaster, such as a Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey damaged 135,000 homes and displaced around 30,000 people. Although these numbers are much lower than the numbers that we have seen from our friends across the world, that does not mean that the impact of Hurricane Harvey is any less significant. Because, as I mentioned earlier, it is not only Houston that we will have to worry about. Number 9. Miami, Florida, USA. Miami, Florida takes the number 9 slot on our list. Moving up from its previous position, this one really stinks. And I know that a good number of you are viewing either from Florida or are snowbirds from Canada who travel to Florida throughout the winter to get away from the dreadful weather that we get here. Either way, this one truly sucks. According to environmentalist and author Jeff Goodall, who was interviewed by Business Insider, this is basically no scenario in which you can envisage Miami remaining at the end of the century. He also claimed that Miami is the poster child for a huge city that is in big difficulty. They may soon just have raised all of its structure just to stay above water. And considering that Miami is home to over 450,000 people, they would have to raise all of those structures. And I don't even want to imagine how expensive or how long that would even take. Miami's sea level are rising faster than other areas of the world, and this is resulting in obvious floods, contaminated drinking water, and major water damage to homes and roads. Number 10. New York, USA. And finally, coming in at number 10, we have the Big Apple, New York City, USA. If any of you have been paying attention to the news over the past few weeks, you have seen all of the footage of New York City being basically submerged in water. From cars driving in water 5 feet deep, to people's homes flooding to swimming rats, to subway tracks and cars being completely downpoured on. It's safe to say that this is a really big issue. Do we really need to say anything else? All of this transpired in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. And apart from natural disaster that can continue to flood the city, the entire city is surrounded by water because it sits right at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. If you add rising sea level to the mix of major storms like Ida, it's safe to say that New York City will eventually disappear. It is just a matter of time before we witness the effects of all of these floods and rising sea levels right here as well anyway. There we have it. Our list of the top 10 cities expected to be submerged due to climate change is now complete. Adapting to a changing climate can feel overwhelming, but it's not an uphill battle. The Earth will go through its natural cycles. We can do our best to work with nature rather than against it. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until the next one.